All right, lightening up here, 26th annual, presented by Stony Brook Medicine this year. Jeffrey, this is exciting.
That's great.
No, what's exciting? That we have Jeffrey here.
Amazing.
The Scrooge. I mean, honestly, I love Scrooge, and Jeffrey, you on stage are probably one of the most animated, most incredible renditions of Scrooge live that I've really, year after year, it brings tears to my eyes. I'm not dry-eyed at the end of the show. It's amazing every year. So
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. I understand you have your 1,500th performance coming up this year?
Yes, December 2nd, the night before the Dickens Festival officially begins, will be my 1,500th performance as Scrooge.
That's 1500, folks.
That is correct.
That's a record.
That
Jeffrey.
is congratulations.
That's some type of record.
That is amazing.
Well,
Now-
certainly for Port Jefferson.
yes. Now, I think I came on stage. I gave you a proclamation. I think it was for 1,200, and I
It
think
was
that
actually 1,000.
was 1,000.
Yeah, that's
amazing.
a good number of years ago.
There's a
I do
sneaky-
about 50 a year.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That's amazing. And does it ever get dull for you?
Oh, of course.
No.
Of course. I mean, not every moment of every performance is going to be joyous or interesting. I mean, in every performance, there are moments that I find, there are moments that are powerful, but it's important to tell the story, and that's the process of rehearsal and creation
Right.
and making sure the show maintains its integrity. So is every moment a joy? No. But doing the production has been a central part of my life now for over 30 years.
So when are you Jeffrey and when are you Scrooge? I mean, is there really like a transformation where
No,
you...
I'm Scrooge all year round. I always say the only acting I do is that last 10 minutes when I'm nice. Just ask anybody who works for me.
Yeah.
I'm like the one in the counting house.
So knocking on the door, what do you want?
Yeah,
It's
pretty much.
Yeah, there you go.
So on the
Cup of coffee.
actual weekend, you're so involved in Theater 3 in that actual building.
Yes.
Do you get out in the streets yourself?
A little
on
bit.
that weekend.
I'm always in the parade,
Mm-hmm.
and I do a reading for the opening, and I try to get out and look around. For many years, actually, I was Scrooge in the radio play.
That's right.
When Mayor Jean Garant
Right.
Amazing.
was running it, and I had come back. I'd been away from the theater for a year, and she and I met, and I said I'd like to get involved. So I did that for 3 or 4 years. It just was very hard schedule-wise. The kids who work for me in the show, we have 2 sets of kids, so they come in, they get dressed, they go out caroling in the street, they really get into it. The adults, of course, we have 6 shows in 3 days, actually 7 if you count the children's show, so
lot.
it's very hard.
Right.
But we feel the energy.
You know what? One of my favorite things was the 15-minute skit. Can you talk a little bit about that? And we'd love to see that at some time. Maybe we can tape it actually. Or...
Yeah, the 15-minute actually came about. There was a Hunt Club breakfast years ago, and the first year I wrote something small for it, and the next year I had this idea, so I wrote it, and then your mom was like, why don't we do this?
incorporate it,
So we
right.
did one performance of it, and
fabulous.
then we started doing it just Saturday nights, and at the Dickens Festival at the Baptist Church, and then every night, and it just became kind of an albatross, to be honest.
Yeah.
It became a lot of extra work,
Right.
so we kind of retired it. And to be honest, Brent Erlinson, who is my associate for many years, who passed away, who is as much a part of Christmas Carol as anybody, always had very mixed feelings about it, and that resonated with me because his feeling was, well, yes, it's funny, but you spend 2 hours crafting this story and then you turn around and you make fun of it.
Well, it was a fabulous rendition of it. A different version. As you said, there's many versions.
And I guess his voice stuck in my head. And after he passed, we did it for 1 year, and then I said, I need to have some distance
respite.
from this. But yes, every year, many people ask me, when are you bringing back the 15-minute Christmas Carol? Someday. We
Someday.
will.
So tell me about Charles. What is your favorite thing about, the infamous Mr. Dickens and about him personally? What do you connect with most about him?
Well, he was a workaholic. I don't think there was a workaholic on that level in history. He was also really the first rock star when you think about it. I mean, he was internationally known. He was
Right.
the kind of person that people actually recognized.
Right.
He actually made more money doing his readings than he did on his books. he had an extraordinary energy. He would go out walking every night for 20 miles all over London. He had all these different interests. In addition to writing these epic novels, he would edit a magazine, and then he'd end up writing all of the articles. He was involved with charities. He was involved with amateur theatrics.
Right.
He was always he was a vital human being. There are other sides to him that we find out about, that not necessarily the greatest human being, but as an artist and as a force of nature, he was one of a kind.
Yeah, well, I learned recently that, as a young boy, he worked in a factory. He was
a blacking factory. His father got him the job because he was in debtor's prison,
right.
And so he had to work, and that's what's portrayed in David Copperfield.
Right.
David Copperfield he had started writing an autobiography, and he had to put it down, so he took pieces of that and put it in David Copperfield, which is his most personal work. So yeah, he had a very difficult childhood.
Yeah, and I think that a lot of the scenes maybe from Christmas Carol of the poverty and that probably haunted him.
The Cratchit family actually equates directly to when the family lived in that area, the number of children in Dickens' family.
Right.
So it's very interesting, the parallels that he brought to it.
Was his father a clerk? I mean,
yes, he worked in the Naval Pay Office, I think.
Right.
Yes, and he was macabre. He was somebody who did not know how to live inside his means. And as Dickens became richer and more successful, he took advantage of that.
And you can see that grow in the character
of
Scrooge as it develops in the Christmas Carol tale.
Dickens made a comment that the only thing I've ever been left is relatives.
Well, Jeffrey, we just relish you, and honestly, we are so thankful that Theater 3 is a part of this community. It's a backbone, theater, live theater on Main Street down here in our village. And Christmas Carol has been such an integral part of the holiday season here for many, many decades. And we're so fortunate to have you as the backbone of that theater. And, you mean so much to my family and this community. And I just wanted to congratulate you again on your performance in 3 decades and 1,500 performances of a character that, for me, I hold very dear in my heart. And again, congratulations on everything you've done for Theater 3 and the community at large. Kevin, you want to?
Yeah, I'd like to also echo those thoughts, but also for the folks that are coming down here, many will come for the first time, December 3rd, December 4th. Let's hear what they're going to be in for. What are the schedules? Where can they buy tickets? Let's go to that type of thing.
Theater3.com. You can buy tickets online at any time. You can call our box office, 631-928-9100. And
so if we talk about Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, approximately
Friday night, 7 o'clock, Saturday, 3 and 7, Sunday, 3 and 7. We do run through December 30th.
I was going to say, of course.
Come down, enjoy the festival, and then come back another night.
Exactly.
And have dinner, go shopping, and see the show.
Exactly. It's
Good
wonderful. And thank you so much again.
Thank you, Mayor.
And
thank you, Kevin.
Thank you. Thank you on short notice. Have a great holiday.
Thank you. You too.